So we need to have a little bit of a chat about The Last of Us Part 2. More specifically, a chat about the multiplayer, or the lack of it, and the future of factions. So everybody's been asking me for my opinion on this whole situation. What do I think about this? What do I think about that? And I honestly just wanted to wait, give it a few days, let the dust settle a little bit before I made this video, because I didn't want to jump the gun like 80% of the people in this community did. So I just wanted to wait just a little bit for the dust to settle and see what actually happens, just wanted to give it some time. But now that, a few days have passed, I think it's about time to make this video. So some of you guys might be asking, Dan, what situation are you talking about? And others already know what the situation is. But either way, let's recap a little bit. So at PlayStation's most recent State of Play, Naughty Dog actually showed up after about a year and a half of just nothing after showing that E3 demo back at E3 like 2018 or whatever. So they actually showed up with a new trailer and a release date for The Last of Us Part 2. And everybody was hyped, including myself. If you want to see my reaction, I made a whole video reacting to the trailer and giving my thoughts and opinions on that trailer. If you want to see that, the link will be in the description. If you want to check it out, do it. If you don't, whatever. So this trailer comes out and everybody's going nuts. Like, nuts. Everybody's just happy that Naughty Dog finally gave us a new trailer. Everybody's happy that we finally got a release date. Everybody's just happy that Naughty Dog finally decided to step off their ivory tower of secrecy and give us some new information about this highly anticipated game. And then 2 days after that, Outbreak Day happens. And for those of you who don't know what Outbreak Day is the day in the fictional TILU universe where the outbreak or the pandemic started in the Last of Us universe that caused everything to go to shit. And basically, Naughty Dog uses that as kind of like an annual day to sell merch. Sometimes to give out information about The Last of Us or Last of Us Part 2 over the past couple of years, but mostly it's to sell shitty merch. But not this year. No, not this year. Naughty Dog did show up with shitty merch, but also Naughty Dog showed up with some gameplay. New gameplay of The Last of Us Part 2 that people haven't seen before. Gameplay showing off new parts of the game, new combat mechanics, new gameplay mechanics like crafting, new enemy types, all that stuff. Like Naughty Dog devs were out in full force. They were dropping gameplay breakdown videos, they were doing interviews with people, the whole shebang. They were finally talking to media about this game, and everybody was just happy that they were finally talking to us, and everything was good. Until some TILU devs dropped the bomb that The Last of Us Part 2 won't have multiplayer. And when I say dropped a bomb, I mean dropped a fucking bomb. And gaming news outlets took that bomb and just hit the fucking dash. And of course, people were upset. Content creators were making videos like, what the fuck is going on? People were on Twitter tweeting at Neil, tweeting at Naughty Dog, trying to find out what the hell is going on. The community on Twitter even started a hashtag #WeAreFactions to try to get the devs' attention just to show how much Factions means to us. And people even went so far as to make an online petition to get Naughty Dog to add the multiplayer mode to the game. So you guys might be asking, what was I doing during all this? And the answer? I was chilling. Like, people were on Twitter adding me, trying to get me to retweet this petition so that more people can see it. Like, people were in my Twitter DMs like, bro, you gotta make a video. You gotta show the Naughty Dog devs how important this game is to the community and how much we need a multiplayer in The Last of Us Part 2. You gotta make a video. You gotta do something. And what did I do? None of that. Because like I said, I was chilling. Maybe like 10 to 15% of me was tight at this whole situation initially, but the other 85% of me was just chilling. And you wanna know why? Because I know that Naughty Dog is a lot of things, but they aren't stupid. Well, they did add a tag shotty to the game, and they do have the burst rifle as a 300, 600 part upgrade. So they are stupid to a degree, but they're not that stupid. So in my head, I'm thinking to myself, right? Naughty Dog's got something planned. I don't know what it is, but I know they got something planned. So, let me just relax. Let me just chill and wait and see what happens. Because let's think for a little bit, right? When was the last time a Naughty Dog game didn't have a multiplayer? I'll wait. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to figure this out. If you guessed 10 years, then congratulations, you're wrong. It was actually 12 years ago when Uncharted 1 came out in 2007. So every other game that Naughty Dog has released since Uncharted 1 has had some type of multiplayer in it. Fuck. TILU's multiplayer was an overly ambitious co-op mode that they scrapped and then turned into Factions. So do you really think after 12 years of games having multiplayer modes that they're just gonna switch gears and only release a single player story mode and then that's it? Really? Word? Word. Okay, like Naughty Dog would have to be the stupidest fucking game developers on the planet to drop a multiplayer mode, especially from a game like The Last of Us, where I know for a fact that they know the impact that this game has had on the community and a bunch of people's lives. Like, they aren't dickheads. So these were all the thoughts that were going through my mind as, you know, everybody was tripping and trying to get petitions signed to have Naughty Dog add a multiplayer mode to the game, which in my opinion was fucking hilarious. Because online petitions never work, especially for video games. Like, do you really think that a multi-million-dollar AAA game company is gonna add a game mode that will cost millions of more dollars to make because 500 people signed their name on an Excel spreadsheet? Word? Nah fam, that's not how that works. And even if that was how it worked, we already waited so long to get a release date as it is. So if they even agreed to do this and add a multiplayer game, do you know how much longer it would take for the game to come out for them to add a multiplayer mode into the game? It'll be a while. Now I know that this petition was more of like a gesture to show Naughty Dog how much the community cares about this game and how much they want this multiplayer, and I get that. That part is cool. And I liked how everybody kind of came together to let Naughty Dog know what the fuck is up and how much you really care. I liked that aspect of the whole petition thing. But ultimately, I just know that petitions don't work, and that's why I didn't retweet it. But I do appreciate everybody coming together and banding together as a community to let Naughty Dog know what the fuck is up. That shit was dope. But you guys also have to remember how much of a niche community that this is. Like, when there was a problem in Fortnite when they added the mechs to the game and nobody liked it, hashtag remove the mechs was trending on Twitter. When 2K20 released as a huge buggy mess, hashtag fix 2K20 was trending on Twitter. But when Naughty Dog announced that they weren't gonna have a multiplayer mode in The Last of Us Part 2, guess what was trending on Twitter? I don't know, but I know it wasn't hashtag we are factions. Now I know some of you guys might be looking at me like I'm some type of a dick for saying stuff like this, but I'm just stating facts. And like I said, I liked how everybody came together to, you know, let Naughty Dog know how we felt about their decision. But at the same time, you guys just gotta remember how much of a niche community that this is. But anyway, like I said, I was just chilling because it hadn't even been a full day since this information broke and people were going buck wild. I had people commenting on my YouTube videos about this whole situation. You know, they were telling me how they feel about this stuff. I even had one dude message me on PSN. I don't know if I'm gonna show it or not, but he was basically saying like, oh, this is a sad day, yada yada yada, I can't believe this happened. This just made my decision to switch to Xbox and the next gen that much easier. And I'm just like, what? People were just like, F Naughty Dog, they're a shit company. They waited all this time to tell us a release date just to turn around and tell us that there won't be a multiplayer mode in The Last of Us Part 2. These guys fucking sucked. And then Naughty Dog popped up and was like, but actually... Essentially what this statement said was, yes, there will not be a multiplayer mode directly attached to The Last of Us Part 2, but there will be a new type of online ambition, is what they're calling it, that is coming, but they don't want to talk about it until it's ready. So when I saw this, all the light bulbs in my head went off because I knew that I was chilling for a reason. Because I immediately thought about Apex Legends and how Apex Legends is set in the Titanfall universe, but it's also its completely own thing. And for this reason, Apex Legends is arguably bigger than Titanfall because of its separation from it. And then I thought back to that E3 event where Naughty Dog first showed the gameplay demo for The Last of Us Part 2. And I remember looking in the live stream chat and seeing people ask about factions, but then I also remember seeing even more people asking, what the hell is factions? And I would say maybe 50 to 60%, maybe even more than that, of the Last of Us player base doesn't even know that the game has multiplayer because of how strong the single player is. And then I had one more thought. Would Apex Legends be as popular as it is if Respawn decided to add it on to Titanfall 2 instead of having it be its own standalone thing? Y'all see where I'm going with this? Like I said, Naughty Dog is a lot of things, but they're not stupid. So what I think is going on is that Naughty Dog has seen how the game industry has changed since they first released The Last of Us in like what, 2013? They've seen how the game industry has changed over the past 6 years. They've seen how successful Fortnite and Apex have been, and they've taken a few notes. They've also seen how big the TLOU factions community has gotten, despite the fact that a majority of the people playing their game don't even know that it exists because of how strong the single player is. So what I think is going on is that Naughty Dog is planning on releasing some type of standalone multiplayer experience that's going to be set in the TLOU universe, but it's also going to be its own thing. I don't know what it's gonna be because like they said, it is very ambitious and they want to reveal it when it's ready. So I feel like they got something big coming, something bigger than anybody's expecting. And I think whatever they got cooking up that they're planning on releasing is gonna be free. Alright, I feel like that free aspect might be a little bit of a stretch, but I really feel like they're gonna try to pull like an Apex situation where they're just like, hey guys, this is the game we're working on for so long. Like we said, we wanted to show it to you guys and we're ready. And they'll just go over, all the stuff that's in the game and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the video, they'll be like, oh, and by the way, you guys can download this shit today. I feel like that's what they're gonna try to go for. So is TLOU 2 not having a multiplayer directly attached to it an ideal scenario? No, it sucks ass. But you have to remember how much the game industry has changed since the original Last of Us came out, and you also have to remember how much the factions multiplayer mode was overshadowed by the single player. Is this terrible timing for Naughty Dog to drop this information days after revealing the release date, essentially honey-dicking their fans? Yes, it's terrible fucking timing. But when has Naughty Dog ever been good with timing or transparency? And finally, am I worried about the future of factions? Honestly, no, I'm not. Because like I said, Naughty Dog is a lot of things, but they're not stupid. So yeah, that's the situation at hand and my 2 cents on it. Like I said, something big is coming, and I hope I'm right. And hey, if I'm wrong, there's always other games to play. Yo, it's so funny, yo. I had somebody call me a pessimist on Twitter because I was making fun of people who were signing that petition. It's like I'm not a pessimist, I'm just a realist, and I'm just using my common sense, Like we all saw Naughty Dog openly posting hiring ads for multiplayer developers, animators, and all that stuff. Like we all saw this shit. So why would they be looking for these people to make multiplayer stuff if they weren't working on something? Like it just doesn't make sense. And people are on Twitter like, yo, Naughty Dog doesn't give a fuck about factions, they don't really care about us, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. And I'm like, bro, Naughty Dog kept up the servers for PS3 factions for 5 years after the game came out on PS3. 5 years for a scrapped co-op mode turned multiplayer. Do you really think that Naughty Dog doesn't see the impact that factions has had on people? Like, come on guys, just have a little bit of faith. Like the shit I saw people calling Naughty Dog on Twitter and in YouTube comments was crazy. Like these supposed fans were saying the craziest shit, which is partially Naughty Dog's fault for their terrible timing and their lack of transparency, but still. And yes, I know it sucks how shitty Naughty Dog is with communication, especially to their fans. But like I said on Twitter, everybody just needs to calm down and not jump the gun just yet, because Naughty Dog is playing chess and y'all are screaming at them to play checkers. So let's just relax and wait and see what happens, because I feel like we're gonna look back on the situation and just laugh once Naughty Dog reveals to us what they've been working on, or we can just be stuck playing Last of Us Remastered forever, which is actually going to be one of the free games that they're giving away with PlayStation Plus next month. So if you don't have that get that only time will tell. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you want to see more like this man, I can't wait to read the comments on this one.